Give me that. You trying to see people? They got like 6 minutes before they come on. Don't write on that. Stop. Why you writing on my paper? No, write on that. Stop. YouTube gospel music. YouTube gospel. Growing up as a child in my you would always be there. Oh my, it's your man. Growing up as a child in my mother's scared. My mother told me you'll always be there. Now I'm a grown man, living on my own. I can truly say she doesn't never let me alone. Every now and then I have to tell her, is anybody listening to me? Yeah, but tell the Lord that sometimes. If my mother's down, I never will forget it. My mother told me, said, Joe, she'll always be there. Oh, man, now I'm rolling, living on my own. I'm so glad today I can truly say, sometimes I get my head and say, Jesus, he ain't never left me alone. Sometimes I tell him, but ain't nobody but Jesus. Let's just go ahead and I'm depending on you. Anybody in this place can lift your hand right now the room and tell the Lord, I'm depending on you. I'm depending on you. Let's go on live and say, all right, y'all, let's get into it. I'm just gonna go ahead and start my little lives. I'm gonna read my disclaimer. So my disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance on favor of fair use. All right, let me go on and get into it. Let me get through this live. So, as you all can see, that my thumbnail says self checkout. So I chose the title self checkout, and it'll cost you. It will cost you. The reason why I want to speak on like self checkout because when you going through life and when you going through things, and then when you think of just with everything that's going on, everything what everybody is going through, it kind of reminded me of when you in a grocery store. That's if I could use that analogy. So that I use a lot of analogies. I like to use analogies to give a person a breakdown. Like why she said self checkout. What do checking out of from a restaurant? It has a lot to do with it because when you grocery shopping or you're shopping, we tend to go through different lines. You may have uh what we call them. I don't care. Don't come back in here. You may have someone that's a cashier, as I can say, maybe how cashiers they run registers. Sometimes a lot of people they don't like to bag their own groceries, and a lot of times cashier they do all the work. You just put the work on the belt. But majority of the time they're gonna scan it for you. They're gonna do all the scanning and they're gonna do all the bagging. They're gonna do everything. But your part of it, just make sure you either way it go, you're gonna pay. But when you do self checkout, it's like you're doing all the work. Self checkout is like you doing all the work. You're loading the belt. You're scanning your items. You're making sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to. But self checkout come with being accountable and responsible because in self checkout you have to make sure that you checking out every item that's on that belt. And that's how life is. When you choose to make a decision or choose, I'm not going to do it this way. I don't want to do it this way. I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to check myself. And that's what self checkout do. It allows you to, even with life, you got to check yourself. But when somebody else doing it, they're checking you. When the cashier is pulling out your stuff, they're checking you because they're saying, okay, I ain't got to worry about nothing. My hands ain't in it. If they make a mistake, guess what? The mistake won't be on me. It's on the cashier and not me. But when you doing the self check, self evaluation, you got to make sure everything got the cart. You got to make sure you scan every item. So you're holding yourself accountable to make sure that you doing and scanning every item. And that's what we have to do with our life. It's like a self checkout when you're in a situation and you see things not right. And as we see in the saga, how we seeing everything is playing out, everybody's saying, you know what, enough is enough. I don't did it this way. I'm not doing it that way. It's time for a self checkout. It's time to check up out of here because what they got going on, they over here dragging people, humiliating people, speaking on people's children, their parents, doxing their job. They're doing all type of things. And once upon a time, you was a part of that. Not holding yourself accountable, and now it's like you're a part of it. It's like, are you going to be the problem or are you going to be the solution? So now you decide to say, I'm not going to let nobody else tell me. Come on, I'm not going to allow anyone to tell me. I'm an adult. I'm not going to allow nobody to tell me how to run my life. I'm going to evaluate my life. I'm going to check my life. I'm going to scan my life and make sure I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, that I can hold myself accountable. And that's basically what it is. Because the way life is, and we see how life is, we see things that is going on. We see people that losing everything. They're losing their houses, everything they work for. And that's how the word of God say, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? You know what I'm saying? It's not even worth it. Is it, you got to ask yourself, is my life worth me losing everything? But then at some point in life, you holding yourself accountable. You doing what you're supposed to do, and now you're in a place to say, you know what, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'm gonna do what I have to do, and now I'm gonna do a self-check, self-evaluation, and I'm gonna work on me. I'm gonna work on my issues. I'm gonna work on my problems, the things that I'm going through. I'm trying to get myself to a place, in my life that I want to do the right thing. Yes, I've dealt with these things. I went through these things, but guess what? Now I'm ready to work on me. Now it's time for me to fight for me. I've been fighting for everybody else, but now it's time for me to fight for me. I'm gonna fight for me, and that's how you have to do. You have to fight for yourself to say, do I want to continue to be this way? Do I want to continue to act this way? No, because you at some point you get tired of that. It's draining, it's wasted energy. So no, you don't want to continue to keep doing those things. So now let me do a self-checkout. Let me self-check myself and remove myself from that. Instead of somebody else doing it or me feeling like I got to do it the way they want me to do it. They holding me accountable. They're not holding me accountable over here. They're holding me accountable. Over here, they're saying I can do it when I don't want to forgive. Over here, they're telling me you can forgive. It's a process. You're going to get through it. We're going to get you through it. We got a sisterhood, a brotherhood where we holding everybody accountable. And that's what it's all about. Just doing a self-evaluation, doing a self-check on your life to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do and doing what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you want a clean slate. You want your slate clean. You want your garments to be clean. When you go to bed at night, you want to feel good. You want to lay your head down and be like, you know what? I slept good tonight. I feel better. You don't have to worry about all these different aches and pains in your body, and you trying to figure out, well, why I'm going through this and why I'm going through that, because of the things that you have done, these seeds that you have planted. You don't planted these bad seeds, and now you're reaping the harvest of it. You're reaping it in your body. Things going on in your family, things going on in your income, different things just going on because you fail to understand that you did all these things that was out of what. Stop. You love to throw stuff. Stop throwing. Get on. Why you got ink all over your face? Move. That's my grandbaby back there. And I know you are there. I know there's a lot of videos and everybody trying to, girl, sorry about that, y'all. And everybody trying to get their little time in. But I'm going to continue to do my part and move on and get my little video in and scoop my little stuff on out the way. Because I know you all can come back and hit replay. But I just wanted to share that with you all, do as you see everybody's doing a self-checkout. Like we checking out. We checking out this. Like we done with this. We done with this nonsense. We ain't got time for all this old demonic stuff. And that's what it's all about. Nobody don't got time for the devil because the enemy will use you up. Stop, Legacy. Move. The enemy will use you up. And when he done with you, he'll spit you out, chew you up and spit you out and forget about you. Stop. And he'll forget about you. And he'll move on to the next. And then to the next person and then to the next person. And that's his job. And his tactics don't change. But the enemy don't like to see unity. That's one thing he don't like to see unity. He don't like to see, brothers and sisters coming together. He don't like to see where at one point where people were using a trauma bond, coming to close the door. You got some people use their trauma bond. They was bonded for the wrong reasons, for a different. I don't want that. Go for a different cause. Hold on, y'all. Move. Go to the table. Let's go. Go to the table. No. Come on. Sorry about that. But yeah, sometimes, people was, different ones was using their trauma bond to speak on a situation that someone brought their hurt and their pain, and then other people brought their hurt based on what they went through and based on what they've been through. So they all trauma bonded for a cause, and then it ended up where people just disliking each other, saying meanful things to each other, hurting each other. But then at some point people got tired and they realized that it was draining them, it was draining their life, and they were tired, they was getting tired of what was going on, and realized, what am I benefiting from? And then they see these same people that had trauma use their hurt and try to turn their hurt on them and use things against them when they feel like things wasn't going their way, or they weren't doing it the way you wasn't doing it the way they wanted you to do. So now that you felt like these people was for you before you even, you know, got to know who they were, you open up your life, your emotions and your feelings, and now these people using your trauma against you. And then at some point, now that you decide to say, hey, I'm checking out. I just evaluate the situation, evaluated my life, and I don't have time for this. I'm not finna do this, and I'm not finna put up this, because at the end of the day, all we can do, like the song say, depending on Jesus. That's all we can do. And only He can heal us. He could bring us through. And like we said, we all finding something positive, even in your traumas. You could be able to relate to others and be able to reunite and get to know a person. And when you later find out it was a misunderstanding, and that the things and hurtful things you said, you did it and said it based on your hurt, based on your pain, because you never allowed yourself to heal. You get what I'm saying? So now you're hurt, they're hurt. So now everybody is just like putting their hurt on everybody, but now everybody's coming to say we're gonna unite on a good cause, and then no matter what, we're not gonna hold this against you. We checking out too. We feel you, we supporting you, and that's what it is. Be quiet. We all supporting one another, and that's what it is. And you got to understand, everybody don't want to do a self checkout. Everybody don't want to do a self checkout. Some people still comfortable with going to the cash register and let somebody do it for them. They don't want to do a self checkout, because guess what? Because in self checkout, baby, you got to do the work. You doing all the work in self checkout. You putting it on the belt. You're scanning every item. You're bagging it. You moving it from you loading items from one buggy to the belt through the scanner, from bagging it, and then after you bag it, you got to put it in another buggy, and that too. And then in some cases, they'll push the car out to your car, and they'll put it in your vehicle. And you got some people that just don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the self check. They don't want to do the self evaluation because it's too much work, and they're comfortable. They're content. They're okay with being okay. They're okay with being where they are. That's how they use it. That's how they want to be. Yes, and that's exactly how they want to be. And I know today's Sunday, and Sunday is one of these busy days. And I'm gonna continue to stay faithful, continue to stay committed to what I have to do, how even if I have to do it alone. But I still have to do my part because I want to grow my panel. And I know in order for my panel to grow, I have to do it. Stop, girl. But and I know it's real busy here on YouTube, and there's so many content creators, and everybody have a voice, and everybody's having a good time, and you know and I'm okay with that. And I'm just grateful and thankful that I was a part of everything that's expiring, transpiring now, like all the good. Everybody's coming together, and what we got to understand, you got to understand that everybody may not want to come along and transition because they're comfortable. They're comfortable where they at. They're content. They okay with being okay. They okay with being in darkness, because darkness will never comprehend light. When you removing yourself from darkness, that's see when you come into the light, see the light gonna expose. See the light expose your dirt. You see the light gonna expose your deeds and all that. So see, they don't want to come to the light. They don't want to come to self-check because they don't want their deeds to be exposed. And that's just how some people are. So you got to see it for what it is and accept it for who it is. Because everybody everybody don't want to do the right thing. You know, they choose not to do the right thing, you know? And we have to see people for who they are. And like they say, when a person show you who they are, and that's what you got to believe. That's who they are. And you got to believe it because that's where they want to be. And you can't force it. You know, even if they slanging mud, just because they slang mud, guess what? You don't have to slang mud because they slanging mud. You don't have to be like that because they like that. You don't have to do it, you know? So I'm just here. I wasn't really doing that. I was cleaning up. So I'm just trying to get my little time in, and you all can come back and hit the replay on this. But I'm just getting my little self and my little time in, and you know, and that's it. I have one person on here. How you doing? I've been on here just yapping away till somebody get here. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I was just talking about self-check, self-evaluation, and you know, just removing yourself from toxic things and toxic people. Yeah, it ain't no really nobody here, but that's okay. That's all right. I got God with me. I have the Holy Spirit with me, and I'm gonna tell my story, you know. And people can come back, they'll join it, they'll listen to it, and they can get and receive what they want to receive from it. And it's called self-check. You know, it's self-check out, self-evaluation. I'm not gonna be on here long. I just want to get my little live in, squeeze my little self in. What they say, get in where you fit in, and that's what I'm doing. I'm getting in where I fit in. So I have to build my channel. Sometimes when you build, you got to build alone. Sometimes not that I'm alone. I'm not alone or anything, but I know it's so many other content creators and everybody be in all these different little cuts and different little things. But guess what? At the end of the day, I still have to build my own channel. I have to build it. I have to stand. Whether nobody over here or not, guess what? I still got to do my part. If I want to be successful in this, and then I could look back on, you know, things and self-evaluate, self-checkout. This is what self-checkout is. Self-checkout is holding yourself responsible, holding yourself accountable, because ain't nobody gonna hold your hand. And self-checkout, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. And self-checkout, I'm just standing there in self-checkout. The items ain't gonna scan themselves, you know. I'm not gonna overcome stuff. I got to put in work. You got to put in work. And that's the whole purpose of self-checkout. You got to do it when ain't nobody else, because that's the whole purpose of self-checkout. You got to do it yourself. So whether anybody show up, you still got to show up. You there, you still checking out. Nobody ain't gonna come there and scan your items. If you wanted somebody to do the work and scan your items, guess what? You could have went to a cashier and allowed the cashier to do it for you. So at the end of the day, that's why I want to do this live, to let somebody know. You may be afraid to do the stepping out and don't know how to start. But I'm here to tell you, you got to keep going. Stop, girl. Stop. You got to keep going. Even if nobody's with you, you got to still keep going. Legacy, stop it. You got to keep going, even if you got to go out by yourself. Hold on. Stop. Yeah. You got to keep going. And that's what it's all about. Because somebody, your voice gonna, you know, you got to step out sometimes. Like I said, this YouTube channel could be intimidating, you know what I'm saying? But you continue to keep going, and you continue to believe in yourself. You got to continue to believe in yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be able to tell your story. You got to be able to make your content. And you may feel like nobody not listening, but I promise you, somebody listening. Somebody is listening. And along the way, somebody may be there, somebody may not. But guess what? You got to still keep going. You got to still keep pushing. And you got to still keep striving. And you got to still keep showing up. You got to show up when nobody else gonna show up. You still got to show up. Get out. You still got to show up. Because you got to know who's with you. You got to know who you are and whose you are. You get out. Get down before you hurt yourself. This grandbaby of mine, she ain't gonna stop. You better get out before you get out. Stop before you hurt yourself. It's, look at you. So I hope everybody's having a marvelous day. I hope you all having a good day. And I'm just happy for everybody. I'm just happy to see that everybody's being vindicated. I'm just happy to see the unity. I'm just happy to see different ones that's, doing a self-checkout and just, holding themselves accountable and just holding each other and pulling a brother or sister up, and just to see that what's going on, you can leave all the bickering and all the mud throwing, leave that to the people that want to be in darkness. Continue to let your light shine. Continue to make changes in your life. Continue to do what's right. And when you continue to do what's right, you're gonna see good gonna come to you. Your harvest, you're gonna reap a good harvest. You're gonna reap a good harvest. Like I said, you reap what you sow. So, like I said, and I'm gonna hold this. Like 2024 set the stage, but 2025 there's a harvest. And every day is a day to make changes. Stop before you hurt yourself. When you fall off that chair, you're going to stop. I don't know why she thinks she could walk on air. She headed into them 2-year-old. Look at her. She know what she doing too. So I'm not going to be on here. I'm trying to push it to my little hour. Go on. I really don't have much to say. I'm not going to keep everyone because I know everybody's over on the other live, but I still scheduled my live for 4:00, and I just want to get my little tail on in here and do what I gotta do. Get down before you fall. Don't walk off of that. So I'm gonna finish and go in there and finish straightening up my room because that's what I was doing. You did it. You did it. All right, y'all. I'm not going to be on here because I know the YouTube streets are very busy today. They're very busy. So let me see what I'm end my live with cooling water. Y'all know about cooling water. Oh, I guess it didn't happen. I wasn't able to pull it up. It clicked off. All right, y'all. You all can hit replay. And like I said, I hope you all can find something good out of this, something positive, out of this live that I did. My live may not be like all jumping. See, my live ain't jumping like all these other live because you know what I'm saying. But guess what? I'm still dropping good nuggets. I'm gonna continue to drop good nuggets. And I know you all are coming. Click the link and make sure you stop over here and just stop by and just hit the like button and just support your girl. Okay, that's all I ask for, a little support to get me over my hump, to get me where I want to be. But I definitely will continue to come and, put my best foot forward, And like I said, do your own self-checkout. When you do your own, it's going to cost you, though. It's going to cost. You're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price. Either way it goes, it's going to be a price that got to be paid. Whether the cashier or whether self-check. So that's the analogy I want to use. So either way it goes, it's a price that got to be paid. It's going to be, so make sure you continue to plant good seeds and do the right thing. And people may not understand your change, your traumas, and what you've been through and life experience. But guess what? God gonna lead you in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. He's gonna make sure he direct your path. He's gonna give you the clarity. As long as you continue to keep doing good, guess what? all that baggage and all the weights and the chains, the bondage and all that stuff, all that stuff gonna fall off of you. Eventually it's gonna fall off of you. And you're gonna be feeling so much better knowing that how you can just walk in your peace, how you can protect your peace. And you're gonna be so good at it too. You're gonna be blocking out. The devil gonna still be over there throwing fiery darts. That's why you got to put your armor on, because the enemy ain't gonna stop. He don't like your change. He don't like your connections. He don't like the fact that you and other content creators have came together and crossed the aisles and making a decision to say, you know what, we're gonna be the ones that's gonna stand up. We're gonna be the ones. We may get some backlash, but it ain't even about that. We just gonna turn the channel. We're gonna do something. Come here. What's wrong? We're gonna turn the channel and we're gonna do something different, you know. And the enemy don't like change. What? Okay, wait a minute. And the enemy don't like that. He don't like that. All right, y'all. My great girl need my attention. You all make sure y'all come and check me out, hit the replay. And you all have a blessed day. And I'll see you all later. Talk to you all later. Thanks.